Okay, so in the theme of like trying to like just like learn new things, teach new things, talk about
That's what we're doing.
concepts.
Yep.
Which like last time you talked about ETFs, and that was really awesome. And so I thought, well, for those, I've talked to a few people recently, and they're like, yeah, I like the concept of being exposed to the stock market or investing in the stock market or whatever, but I don't know how to do it. Most people I talk to are using Commsec because that, you know, maybe they're with the Commbank and that's the next most simple alternative. And so I thought maybe we could quickly talk about a few brokers here in Australia specifically, because it'll get out of hand if we talk about every country.
Yeah.
And maybe you could give us some thoughts even in your personal experience, and I'll give you a little bit of information that I've looked up. And then maybe we can just give, you know, our recommendation or something.
Sounds good.
Okay, cool. So the top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6.5. The top 6.5 brokers.
6.5 brokers? What is this half broker thing? All right, you
no,
go.
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3.
I'm still confused
4,
about
5,
how you
6,
get half a
7.
broker.
7. No, 7.
Okay, 7. Okay, cool.
The top.
I think what comes after 6? 6.5.
It does. Top 7 brokers here in Australia that I could find. This is debatable because there's other ones popping up here and there. One that Doe started. So, which is a company called Doe that Isaac and I both have a small investment in. And they recently got bought by a company. Did they get bought by Goodments, or is Goodments their product?
I thought Goodments was their product.
Goodments their product, right? They got bought by some random conglomerate.
Okay, I didn't know that, but...
Yeah, so they did. I definitely know that. I just
Okay.
don't know what it's called. And so they have released a new product into Australia, which is basically just giving Australians exposure to the US market, right? And they call it Goodments.
Yes,
I think.
I believe
and it's like a
that's-
pretty like
I believe that's
aesthetic
what it
looking
is.
app for your phone. It's probably similar to like Robinhood vibe, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I haven't included that because it's really new. But anyway, so...
What about Spaceship? Did you do Spaceship?
No, I did Superhero,
Superhero, okay.
Interactive Brokers,
Yeah.
Selfwealth,
Yeah.
Stake,
Yeah.
Commsec, CMC Markets, E-Torro.
Oh, interesting. E-Torro.
What
I don't know anyone that uses E-Torro in
Neither,
Australia.
but it comes up on all of my YouTube.
It's constantly
videos.
advertising to me. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any that you can think of that I haven't mentioned?
Spaceship.
I've never heard of that.
It's one where I was actually listening to Motley Fool Money, the Australian Motley Fool.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how they were talking about Spaceship and saying like, oh yeah, but it's like, you know, $5 trades. This is why $5 trades are bad. And they're old blokes that are rich as and like, you know, so they're a bit out of touch, I think.
I think so.
But they were saying, yeah, here's why $5 trades are bad.
Yes.
It encourages too much trading. Everyone, you know, turns over. Everyone's constantly like trading money.
Yeah.
We want $20 trades, you know.
Oh wow.
And they're just way out of touch, you know.
Okay.
So but they both use like Commsec or something like. One of them uses Commsec, one of them uses Charles Schwab, which isn't even available in Australia anymore, really.
Yeah.
So
right.
I think it's just a big. He must have a lot of money if he's using Charles Schwab in Australia. So
Okay.
yeah.
So no more. Okay, so...
They're basically doing over-the-counter trades for him if, like...
Gotcha.
from New York.
Yeah.
Like, that's how... Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Anyway.
I guess that's what it's like to have your own podcast.
I guess so. That's basically our life. If you have to... You know, every day I wake up, I call my broker, say, 24 million into, you know, Cardano.
And he's like, what's that? And you're like, sorry, wrong guy.
Yep. Wrong broker, yeah.
Okay, so I think when we're trying to analyze brokers, I think there's a few things that are important, and they differ as you progress in your financial journey. But I think this is tailored towards people who are just getting into it. So I'm not going to overcomplicate this. So the products that are offered, whether it being US shares, Australian shares, and then any additional crypto, even maybe on the same thing.
Yeah.
Fees, really important one. When you're starting out, maybe you're not sure what you're doing. If you've got a lot of $20 trades and you're trading in and out, you can easily just lose money straight away.
Yeah.
Like user experience or the visual aspect, usability of their products. And then I've got a couple of other random notes. But they're the main three things.
Oh.
What?
well, I think the most important thing over all of those would
What?
be chess sponsorship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there's a back end system. So chess sponsorship, when we buy an Australian share,
Mm-hmm.
it's different from when we buy an American share.
Mhm.
Because when you buy an American share, you don't really hold you don't ever own the underlying share.
Mm-hmm.
You own some kind of top piece of paper or whatever that kind of says that you own the share.
Yeah.
When you own a share on the ASX in
Mhm.
Australia, if you buy it with a chess-sponsored broker, that means that the broker can fully go out of business. The trust behind the broker can go out of business.
I see.
Every possible thing can go out of business,
Mhm.
and you still hold the share.
Gotcha.
Whereas if you buy an American thing, if the broker goes down, you've still got the trust to kind of fall back on. I'm not 100% sure about the full legal structure of the US system, and then they've got like the trust behind it or whatever, and if that kind of goes down, it's sort of like, oh, you kind of left stuck. I
Right.
think in American terms.
Interesting.
Not 100% sure if that's exactly accurate to America, but I know that chess sponsorship is important in Australia because it's kind of it's an extra layer of protection.
Yeah.
And saying, no, this share is government guaranteed.
Yeah.
That you own this share
Yeah,
kind
right.
of thing. And so some brokers are chess sponsored and some brokers aren't chess sponsored.
Gotcha.
So Selfwealth is chess sponsored and cheap, which makes it better than, well, I believe it's cheap. I don't 100% know.
Yeah.
But which makes it better than Commsec, which is chess sponsored and expensive,
Mhm.
but really trusted.
Mhm.
So that's one key thing.
Mhm.
And Spaceship was the $5 one, which is not chess sponsored.
Yeah.
Which is how they got their trades to be so cheap.
I assume that's probably similar to Superhero.
Yeah.
They also
so,
market free trade. $5 trades.
Yeah, yeah. So hang on, You keep going, but
Okay.
I'll look up Super. I didn't mean to say hang on.
No, that's actually really good. That's actually awesome. So, in regards to products, I think the main thing when you're first starting out is.
Here we go. So, sorry. Superhero is custodian model rather than chess sponsored model. So
Right.
if it's custodian, that means that it's, yeah.
Right.
Anyway, yeah.
What about E-Torro?
E-Torro, I would assume isn't just because it's American, but
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Is E-Torro...
So the question is,
E-Torro doesn't have chess sponsorship.
What about CMC Markets?
CMC Markets would, I believe, but that's
Okay.
just from, knowledge about what CMC is.
Mhm.
But, yes, CMC Markets is chess sponsored. So there you go.
Interesting. Okay. What about interactive brokers?
Interactive, I believe, also is.
I
but-
really like interactive brokers. So if I was to give my quick analysis here, eToro's eToro's big thing is they have that social trading platform, which allows users to copy strategies from kind of more famous traders.
Oh, they're not. Interactive is not chess sponsored.
Really?
There you go.
Okay. Have you seen that on eToro? On all of their YouTube ads, it's Gary just copied.
Oh, you copy trades. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that's their big thing.
Sorry, that's eToro.
Yes.
Is what's the other one? Selfwealth. That's
Selfwealth.
similar, isn't it?
Do they do that as well?
Oh, I thought they did. Everyone's got a little profile.
Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
eToro just pump it hard.
Yeah.
CMC Markets is really cool.
There's a really funny eToro ad with Alec Baldwin. And he's
Yes,
like,
I've seen that.
Are you rich yet? No, you're not, because you've been
Yeah.
watching this YouTube ad or
Yeah.
whatever. He's like,
Yeah. So funny. Actually, so funny.
yeah.
It's funny they did that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I also get ads for plus 500 all the time, which say oil is going, oh no, oil is crashing. Oh, oil's going up. And then it goes, make the most of market trends when you see them,
Sounds stressful.
But it's just he's watching the news and it's oil is down, oil is up, that kind of thing, which
Gotcha.
is the opposite of what you should be doing, which
Yes.
is no research.
Yeah.
You should definitely be doing
it's on TV.
Yeah, buy. Yeah, that's literally what they're doing in the ad. It's actually terrible. But yes, anyway. I'm fully derailing your segment here.
No,
sorry.
it's good. It's just a conversation.
It's a discussion, yeah.
It's a discussion.
Yeah.
And it's healthy discussion. That's good. So CMT Markets, they've got a good app, and the feel of the website and stuff is pretty professional. There's a bunch of news articles, but it appears to be a little more complicated, in my opinion. It's well designed, but just the appearance of it feels a little bit more overwhelming than some other platforms. Their trades are $11 Australian or 0.1%. And you can do a phone brokerage, so you can call them up.
Yeah.
$60 is their phone brokerage fee.
Wow.
And if you want to trade exotic stocks, so this is like stocks in like random countries that they offer, they can do that, but it's $60 a trade.
Yeah,
which is huge.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting. You can go up into like a higher tier level, so you can subscribe and pay, some money, and then you can do $9.90 trades.
One thing that's different about CMC you should mention is that instead of doing options I'm sure I don't know if they do options or not, but instead of doing all the options and all that kind of thing, their derivative that you can trade is called contracts for difference, CFDs. Yeah, which is so
they do have options, and you're right, you can apply to open a CFD account.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. They also have Forex and commodities. And so it looks cool, like we've talked about it before. They also have CMC Markets Pro. I'm not sure if you've ever seen it. And you can get a free account. It gives you 20 minutes delay, but it gives you like pretty in-depth like technical analysis abilities on charting and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's cool.
So it's kind of cool. Anyway, moving along, you can pay $40 to get live data for that. Anyway.
Yeah.
Commsec is people's go-to.
That's definitely the most common one.
Yeah, you can only buy Australian stocks. CMC you can buy international. Up to $5,000, $20 trades. Up to $10,000, 30.
And
up to
$10 trades for under $1,000.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the user experience is pretty bad. It's not really aesthetic, and it's just kind of just functional. Like it just kind of does its thing.
This is something that's really interesting that I've often, I don't know, I feel like I disagree with you.
Okay.
Not in terms of like, I don't know, yes, it definitely looks worse. But here's something that's super funny that heaps of like web designers and all that kind of thing kind of say, is that if the UI, and heaps of like finance guys, if the UI is really bad, it's like a really good piece of like enterprise software. And if the UI is really good, it's likely like the back end. They've spent all their time focusing on really nice, pretty designs.
But you're thinking of it like from like a professional perspective, right?
That's right. Yeah. So so there's like, if you make it look pretty, it's like
Yes.
I don't know.
Okay. The next one, naturally, almost conversely to that, is Stake. Stake's cool. We both use Stake. You can trade US stocks on it, not Australian, and not anywhere else.
Yeah. So I think that in the ad for Goodments, it said something about trading Australian and
yes,
US.
Yeah,
I'm not
maybe you're
100%
right.
Sure. But now Stake is just introducing
So
ASX
the end of the
anyway.
year, Stake is going to bring ASX onto their platform. We don't know. I don't think we know if it's CHESS sponsored. Is that right? We're not sure.
Yeah, I would assume it's not, but I don't know.
We assume it's not.
Because
they're
I think
Australian
they literally
company
said
though,
like,
right?
yeah, I think that they said, well, yeah, there's,
But like it's a higher chance.
Yeah.
Like they're not some random American company.
But they also said like, oh, we're going to be doing. Did they say we're going to be doing trades for free?
Yeah, well, that's what they do.
Yeah, but how are they gonna make any money? Because they make their money now by charging you to put your money into US dollars.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I don't know how they're gonna make any money doing free trades.
It's a good question.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
So the way that it works in, I don't know if we should give a little background, but the way that Robinhood and Charles Schwab and stuff can pay for, so like the way that they make money is called payment for order flow.
Yeah, it's
which
good.
is
it's really interesting.
Which is where they'll sell hedge funds all the open and close, like all the current open positions before the market and all of the trades that they're doing, and they'll sell the full ledger of all transactions entered and the size and volume and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then all of those hedge funds have the information early before the market's even open or whatever.
Yeah.
And they know which way everyone's trying to push the price, all that kind of thing. They can bet against it. They can.
I heard, tell me if this is true or even possible.
Yeah.
But I heard that they even have data, even in a live market, if I go to make a trade, they know that trade has been entered before it's been fulfilled, and their bots can act on it before my trade's been fulfilled.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's like great about having your own hedge fund, Nathan. So
You're saying it like you do.
Yeah, no. The HQLA hedge fund is something we don't tell the fans about. So So one thing that's great is that everyone could put in their order. So a lot of people put in their order 8 a.m. kind of thing. Market doesn't open till, I don't know, 9:30 if it's the NASDAQ. And so they'll put in their order, and then hedge funds can buy like shares at, if they want to buy shares at 8 a.m. when you've done that, they can just buy the same shares that you're about to push up. Then when the market opens, it's like, oh, I got them more expensive than I hoped to. Like, this is annoying. Like, I've been trying to push up. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Push up the price. They can do that, dump them before you've even, by 10 a.m.,
Yeah, dump them on open.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Continuing through here, being mindful of the time.
Yes.
Stake's really cool, easy to use. They do take their spread when you convert your money from your account over into US dollars. You can do an express option, which is an additional 0.5%. And their standard rate is 0.7%, which is really not very much. So it's quite good. Whenever I'm transferring in and out, I'm always quite surprised how close it is to the current rate.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think it's awesome.
I actually watched the Bloomberg currency.
Oh, yeah.
And then I know what the exact live currency is.
Yeah.
Stake, I think, is actually slower than, because to get the transfer done by Stake is actually slower than Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Sorry, slower than Bloomberg. Slower than the Bloomberg terminal. So when I see the price move,
it's probably faster than Bitcoin.
I also watch Bitcoin a lot on Bloomberg, so it's one of those things. Both start with a B. So yeah, every time that I see price move, I make sure that it's 0.0 spread.
Yeah.
And so I'm basically getting the currency trade done for free.
I see.
Because they also take a spread on the currency, which is something you should know.
Yeah.
So you won't ever see that as a fee.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Selfwealth is good. It's like $10 trades or $9.50 trades or something. Some of these accounts have, which is worth checking, they have inactivity fees. Like if you don't do anything on them for 6 months or whatever it is, they start charging you a monthly rate. So Selfwealth don't have that, which is kind of cool. You can get a bunch of premium features for $20 a month. You still pay for trades though, but you get to see a bunch of analysis and stuff, which is maybe interesting. I'm not sure. I think their UI is really simple and pretty easy to read. It looks clean and tidy. They also take a spread, and you can trade US and Australian stocks, which is cool. Interactive Brokers, really shame that they're not CHESS sponsored, because I think I've never used the platform, but I actually signed up for all of these to have a quick look, and except for E-Torro. and I was super impressed with Interactive Brokers. The products that they offered, the list of products that they offered is stocks, options, futures, CFDs, bonds, commodities, Forex, mutual funds. I don't even know why you buy mutual funds, but there's just so many things. It was just so impressive. When you sign up, you can kind of select which options, which products you want to use and stuff like that. And I thought it was really cool. And then Superhero, which I don't know, seems kind of funny. As you said, not CHESS sponsored. Free trading on ETFs, which is interesting, and $5 trades for stocks. So, of all of those things, would you recommend? So, let's say someone was coming into the market, wanted to buy something. What would be a few things you might recommend?
I think that someone's coming into the market and they want to buy something. So,
what
broker should
someone's
they
18 and they've got $5,000.
Yeah.
And they want exposure to the market, but they don't even know if they want exposure to the US market, the Australian market. They're not sure.
Yeah, so I think a really good way to start is obviously to you can go straight for a Commsec, right? But one thing that's really good as well that we should mention is Commsec Pocket.
Yeah, you're right.
Which is a really clean UI version of Commsec. All you have to do is sign. So you have to.
It's almost so clean it looks fake, but yeah.
Yeah, so you have to sign up for Commsec.
Yep.
Then you can sign up for Commsec Pocket.
Yep.
And then you move money into your CDIA, which is just your Commonwealth Direct Investment Account or whatever.
Just kind of sits down under your savings account, your spending account.
Yeah. Yep. And so you just move money into there. And if you're already with Commonwealth Bank, that's a great way to do it.
It's that easy.
So you move it into there, and then you can trade on Commsec Pocket and get $2 trades.
Yep.
And then one thing that's really clean, you can just say, okay, I'll go for what is it? It's IOZ is the ticker, but you won't even see tickers on like Commsec Pocket.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just click on ASX 200.
It's just a bunch of ETFs, right?
Yeah, it's about 7 ETFs.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just click on ASX 200 and then you go $1,000 and you press go.
An example would be like sustainable technology or something. Might be the name of an ETF, right?
Yeah. And there's like a health focused one.
Right.
You know,
and so you go, I want exposure to the stock market, and I think like health, medical, whatever is going to be the next thing. I'll pop $1,000 in that.
So basically, what I buy in there is just IOZ, which is ASX 200, and NDQ, which is the Nasdaq 100.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think both of those are really good.
That's like your high interest savings account, right?
Yeah, it's
Isn't that what you use it for?
Yes, yeah, something like that.
Pretty much is, right?
ETFs are basically a very high interest saving account that you can lose money on, and and so not financial advice. So yeah,
okay, so Commsec
I really
Pocket.
like. Yeah.
Would you ever progress to actual Commsec?
Well, see, the thing with actual Commsec is that if you're buying, say, IOZ, you can buy IOZ and NDQ on Commsec as well, but paying for $1,000 of that will cost you $10.
Yeah, but what if you wanted to buy individual stock?
If you wanted to buy an individual stock, you would definitely progress to, say, so you'd progress to Commsec, say.
Yep.
And then you can use that to purchase, say, like, if you were going for something like individual in Australia, so you would want to buy, I don't know, say like BHP, for example.
Yeah.
And, that's obviously very, like, moves a lot with the price of iron ore and coal and all that kind of thing. But it would be, so like, you'd get exposure to one of the biggest Australian companies, or like Wesfarmers, like we talked about before.
It's a good one.
So, yeah, and then you go in and you want to put like obviously if we're doing a step by step, you want to go and you want to put a limit order on that, and you want to make sure your limit order isn't too high. So what a limit order does is it restricts the price that you can buy it at. So you're putting a price ceiling. If you're buying a stock, you will be putting a price ceiling. So the maximum price that you're willing to spend on that stock.
Yes, particularly if the market's closed, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to get messed up if you just say market price and then it jumps up.
Definitely, yeah. So you want to put a fairly low limit order on that.
Yeah.
Good. So, yeah.
That's good.
I reckon that's the way to go.
Commsec Pocket, good start. Commsec, good way to buy individual companies in Australia. We use Stake to buy US stuff. I think it's really simple and easy to use. Good to recommend that, but maybe don't. I mean, you could start there if you want. You can buy ETFs, which at that point it's kind of similar to Commsec Pocket, but US based. And then moving on from there, at which point you wouldn't probably be getting our advice, but you could like you can start going into either interactive brokers, which I think I'll look more into, or CMC markets, and you can start trading options and CFDs and stuff like that.
Yeah, options are very risky. I've heard like there are like news articles about CMC shaming CMC for allowing CFDs kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
And it's literally because the people are super dumb.
Yeah.
You have to apply, especially. You have to say, "This is my job title. This is how
this
much
is the
money I
experience
have.
I've had, blah,
this
blah.
is the income that I've got.
Yeah.
Can I please trade CFDs?" They go, "Oh, okay. You're taking your own risks here, all that kind of thing."
Yeah.
You say, "Yep, fine," and then they go and complain to the media like, "Oh, I lost all my money trading CFDs."
Yeah.
It's like, bro, this is not a stock. This is a complicated.
Yes.
You can make yourself bankrupt very easily if you trade derivatives. So
it's true. So I think that's a little bit of advice there. So yeah,
a little bit of non-advice.
A little bit of our personal experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's us.